Hello there, Gemini rising. Let's see what you need to keep most in mind and heart this week to help everything rise into place. Very much in a self-care energy this weekend, so I am extending that your way as we tap into our oracle deck for our foundation frequency. And then we're going to go into our fundamental framework for the tarot. So let's see what is in store for the Gemini rising collective for this week. Tapping into self-care, and we've got to create art. So about it, I will refrain from going into my stuff, but so in alignment, and just think about what it is that you can create. Think about what it is that you can just stop for a moment with all of the things that you feel obligated for, that you feel like you have to do, that's about work, that's about money, that's about all of the things that again make you feel like you're on the books or you're in somebody else's clock. What is it that you want to do that makes you lose track of time when you're doing it? That you feel completely free, that you feel an energy of play, that you feel innocent and childlike again. Creating art is such a fundamental, practical, and playful way to do that. And this is an energy that, again, has also come through in regards to tapping into the Aries rising and the Taurus rising thus far, in terms of balance, in terms of restoration, in terms of recovery, self-care, which is, again, what Spirit told me to focus on for you guys, for all of us this week. This is so important so that as you're going through the hustle and bustle, as you're getting things done, as again, Gemini rising energy is very much in the mind and strategizing and, doing what makes sense as much as possible. Sometimes it is counterproductive to be so much in that mode, and that you actually get so much farther ahead if you just stop for a second. And if you just kind of do something that makes you feel happy, do something that makes you feel like you're not taking life so seriously all the time. And if you just stop and decide to paint, if you stop and decide to draw, if you decide to sing a song, if you decide to dance, whatever the art is, whatever art form it may be, you choose, or dabble in a little bit of everything so you can figure out what is it that really makes you feel, again, like that sense of losing track of time when you're doing it. So important to take that time to do that, especially if you have a tendency to be in your head all of the time. Let's see for the tarot. Tapping into our fundamental framework to clarify these energies. Give thanks, Spirit, for the Gemini rising collective. All right. We've got Five of Cups in the reversal position. We've got the Knight of Cups in the upright position. And we've got the Five of Pentacles in the upright position. So I'm going to start off with these double fives right here because there's immense change that is on the horizon and that you're going to start to feel in regards to this week in particular. And the tapping into this create art as your foundation frequency is really, really important to keep in mind, because when you start to shift, that's when your world starts to shift. That's the math, right? Again, Gemini, we're all like, you're very much in your head. You do what makes sense. So we know that 1 + 1 = 2 ultimately. So in this regard, I do want you to use the energy of the mindset of doing what makes sense and acknowledging the fact that if you take better care of yourself, if you take a moment to break, if you take a moment to rest, if you take a moment to shift something and change something, that is the only time that something different can happen. So this energy of the five, this energy of making a change is ultimately the suggestion here to do something different, to do something artistic, to do something that may be out of your wheelhouse, that may be something that makes you go like, I'm not going to just start drawing right now. Like, I'm not going to pay. That's exactly what you should do. Ultimately, that is what Spirit is giving you the guidance. And especially if what you're feeling is this energy of feeling forlorn, of feeling a sense of abandonment, of feeling tired, of feeling like something's weighing you down. This is what the Five of Pentacles is basically explaining here. So what needs to shift? Obviously, it's like the definition of insanity, right? Expecting different results by doing the same thing. What are you going to do different? What are you going to change ultimately to not feel like this anymore? And what do you have to lose by doing something that radical as to doing something artistic if it's not something that you're used to doing, to just see how it feels? Ultimately, when you make that change is the only time that you're going to be able to acknowledge, okay, this is what it feels like. If you don't do it, it's going to be really hard for you to actually know what it feels like if you actually do it or not. So this energy as well here with our Five of Cups in the reversal position, very much in alignment with what you don't want to feel anymore. What you don't want to focus on is this energy of kind of crying over spilt milk. There's no sense in that. Again, Gemini rising energy, you do what makes sense. And you're in this energy of it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. I'm not going to cry over it. Like if it doesn't work, if it's not for me, then it's not for me, right? But it's one thing to acknowledge when something's not for you, but then that energy of feel it to heal it. What are you doing to ultimately then be in alignment with what it is that is required to feel better, to feel different, to feel that change, to choose that change so that you are in this energy of higher vibration instead of just acknowledging, accepting, embracing something that's just, again, it just makes sense. It is what it is. When we say it is what it is, it's kind of like, I'm not going to really do anything about it. There's nothing that I can do about it. There's always something that we can do about it. We're alchemists in this world, in this reality, ultimately, and we get to decide how something is going to actually transform. And something bad, quote unquote, can always be transmuted into something good as long as we, again, feel it to heal it, face it to replace it. And then we've got our Knight of Cups here. We're just coming off of Valentine's Day. So depending on what that was like for you, part of this low feeling might be some type of disappointment that you may have felt by a particular person. Maybe you didn't get what you wanted. Maybe you felt a little bit more lonely. Maybe you felt like you did more for somebody or again, didn't do enough, or that they didn't do enough, whatever it may be. But there's an energy of someone coming to you to apologize, to make it better, to, try to figure it out and do it differently and try to, again, restore the balance in some ways. So be open to that. Definitely be open to that. But always, always, always make sure that you are doing what is required for yourself and that you're not waiting on somebody else to make it better or to make you feel good to begin with, right? So that's the energy here. I'm definitely loving the roses vibe. Roses are the highest vibrational plant flower on the planet. So stop and smell the roses through this, whatever it is that you're processing. And that's part of the art, right? Sometimes it's really just even about buying a bouquet of flowers for yourself and arranging them. That is something that is ultimately creating art as well. So maybe just that. Sometimes just taking a bath and putting some rose petals in the bath is artistic in itself, and again, very much in alignment with self-care. So I hope that resonates. I hope that it helps everything rise into place. Nothing is falling. It is only up from here. And if you do resonate with this message, then please do drop a rose emoji in the comment section below so that you can stay high vibes, you can process this and remind yourself about creating something. Ultimately, when you create something, you put something out there that wasn't there before, that's impactful. That's legacy. That is literally making history. So make some history today, all right? Give thanks, Gemini rising. Until next time, peace.